I'm back. Hello, all of my beautiful people. Welcome back to another episode. Make sure that you are subscribed to this podcast. Make sure that you rate this podcast 5 stars. Make sure you review this podcast. Make sure you follow at QT with a pod. Make sure you are engaging on the Instagram. Let's jump into today's podcast. Okay, so today we will be talking about the act of ghosting. So I'm 100% sure, and I have numbers to back me up, that all of you have ghosted someone before, or you have been ghosted. And I'm assuming that would be false unless you got married when you were 18 to your high school sweetheart and you've never dated anyone or interacted with anyone as a college student or in the adult world, because I feel like ghosting is definitely a thing everyone has done. Some people may feel bad about it, some people may not. So what is ghosting? When I think of ghosting, I think of giving someone the silent treatment for whatever reason it may be. They could have done something to you. They could have just existed. And after interacting with them, you were like, no, it's a no for me. And you decided to not talk to that person anymore. And ghosting can happen in platonic friendships or romantic relationships, of course, even in family relationships. And I'm going to be focusing on, of course, the romantic relationships. I do want to talk about friend breakups and friend ghosting eventually. I'm still working that out. If you have any thoughts about friend breakups, or if you ever have broken up with a friend before, let me know. I would love to hear your thoughts, because I've never really broken up with a friend. I think I've just ghosted a friend and it kind of just ended from there. But yeah, ghosting is definitely just giving this person the silent treatment. They keep reaching out to you when you were just like, nah, bro, it ain't gonna happen, you know? So why do people ghost? And I'm thinking of me personally, why I've ghosted people in the past. I've ghosted people because I just didn't like them anymore. And I didn't want to, I guess, tell them, hey, I don't like you anymore, or this isn't worth my time anymore. So it was easier to just ignore that person. They text you, they call you, you simply ignore it. If you want to be bold, you can even block them. However, I don't ghost anymore. And I mean, ghosting isn't always even coming from a bad place, like, oh, this person disgusts me. You may not be skilled at ending things, you know, because it is a true skill to end a relationship with someone. And when I say relationship, like, I'm not even talking about like I've been in a relationship with this guy for such and such years and I stopped talking to them. I'm talking about like we've been talking for like a couple months and I'm not feeling it anymore. So it's not always coming from a place of malice. It could just be you don't know how to deal with that. And then the reason I don't ghost anymore is because I have been hurt. Someone hurt me by ghosting me. So I was like, damn, I can't do this again because it's not nice. It's just not nice. So I first want to talk about like a time I ghosted someone and why I ghosted them. And let me start with some data. I love to start with data. So, I had to take it to the streets of Instagram and I asked 2 questions. I'm just going to talk about, have you ever ghosted someone? And 82% of participants said yes, they have ghosted someone, leaving 18% with no. So that's the majority of people. And I'm curious about those people that haven't ghosted, but whatever. So I'm just going to talk about one situation where I actually like talked to this person for a while and then went on a date with them and why I ghosted them. But just being on dating apps, for instance, I don't consider that as ghosting. Like if I've only talked to you via text and you don't know my dog's name or my favorite color, or like you literally don't know me just from you guys know how the conversations go, and I stop responding to you, I don't consider that as ghosting, because there's someone else to talk to, as we talked about in the last episode about having too many options on dating apps. So the time I ghosted someone, this happened last year, I believe, and I was in HEB minding my own business, the grocery store, and I saw this man trying to talk to me, and I was like, I'm receptive, I'm open, let's see what happens. And he had on a hood and a hat and sunglasses, but he still kind of looked cute. Now, I could tell he was an older man, but I didn't know how much older he was than me. So we talked in the aisle for a little bit. He asked my phone number. Tip: don't give these men your for real phone number. Use a Google number, okay? Use a Google number. Don't go out there giving out your real number. So I give him my phone number. He texted me, and we started texting back and forth. We eventually started talking on the phone. We did that for like maybe 2 weeks. And then I was like, okay, like his conversation was okay. I can tell that he was very eager and he was ready, and I was just more so like trying to just tip my toe in the water, and he was diving in. He was like, come on, come in the water. And I was like, nah, bro, I really just want to dip my toe in the water. So he asked me on a date, met up with him for lunch, and I wanted to make sure that it was lunch because I wanted to get out of it and not have it continue throughout the day. So I told him I had an appointment later on, yada, yada, yada. So we sit down, we start talking, and then the first thing he says to me is, how old do you think I am? And this is my first time seeing this man like with his full face. So I said 55. And he was like, really? And I said, yeah, I think you're 55. He said, that's crazy. Everybody thinks I'm 39 or 38, late 30s. And I said, oh, well, how old are you? He then says 53. So I was like, oh, okay, well, I guessed right. And he was like, yeah, but everyone thinks I look so young. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, yeah, I think you look 55. And I just left it at that. I didn't compliment him or anything. So as we're talking, he reveals he's been married 3 times, all for less than 3 months. Red flag. He's been married 3 times, all for less than 3 months. And he's talking about how he really wants a kid. Like, he wants to have a kid within this year. So I'm sitting across the table from him, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm not the one for you. So after everything was over, like, we said our goodbyes. I told him I had to go to my appointment, yada, yada, yada. He was calling me afterwards, and I talked to him for a little bit after the date, but I knew I wasn't interested, but I don't know why I didn't tell him, hey, this isn't going to work. I just decided against it, I guess. So I started ignoring his phone calls, ignoring his text messages. And then I remember talking to Amber, and I was like, should I tell this man I don't like him? And she was like, girl, you don't owe him nothing. And that is the reason why I felt like it was okay to ghost people, because at the end of the day, I don't owe you. Nobody owes you anything in this world. What makes you think I owe you something and you just met me? You've known me for less than a month. That was my reasoning. However, he clearly liked me, I guess. I don't know. He could have been running game. He's 55. He's been running game since I was born. So, like, come on. So I ghosted him, and the last text message he sent me was, hey, I guess this is the last message I'm sending you, or something like that. I finally caught on, and I left him alone. So in that moment, why did I ghost him? Simply because he wasn't for me. He just wasn't for me, and I knew he wasn't for me. When I went out with him, I knew he wasn't for me. It was more so, could you be a sugar daddy? And that's honestly what I was thinking. Sorry, not sorry. So then the time I got ghosted. So when I got ghosted, I decided I can't ghost anymore. So, dang, I'm lying, because I definitely ghosted after that, but whatever. I had promised to never intentionally ghost someone again, I guess. So I asked you guys, have you ever been ghosted? Let's see. 80, is that an 89? That can't be right. 84. 84% of you have been ghosted. 16% of you said no, you have not been ghosted. Again, you 16%, I don't believe you, but I'm going to believe you because I believe you're being honest. Okay. So the time I got ghosted was, I really liked this guy, and it hurt me so bad because I did like him, and I was like, he makes me want to turn in my player's card ASAP. I'm ready. I'm ready. So I remember we went on a couple of dates. Like, we talked on the phone, we video chatted a couple times too. So like we were developing, like, you know, some sort of routine in a sense. And it was like maybe the fourth date we were going to go on. And we have been talking all throughout that week. And we made plans to hang out like that upcoming weekend. And I was busy on Friday, so I said we would hang out on Saturday. So the extent of our conversation on Friday was just, hey, hope you have a good day, because I was busy. This is Friday. Saturday, I didn't hear from him all day until it was like 4. And when we were talking on Friday, he made no solid plans with me. I am very big on making plans at least 24 hours in advance. Sorry, not sorry. My time is too precious to just be... I can't do the last minute thing. I try to be the last minute girl, but I can't do it. I'm sorry. So he texts me at like 4 p.m. that Saturday. I was like, hey, here's the address. Meet me there in an hour. And I was like, he really thinks I'm about to get up and go meet him in an hour. He does think that. So I told him, because at that point I was also tired. Like, I'm an old lady as well. 4 p.m. is too late in the day for you to be telling me to get up and move. If you didn't tell me I had to get up and move before, I'm not doing it. So I text him and say, hey, I was under the impression we weren't going out because you didn't say anything about it for the last few days. Like, you kind of referenced it, but we didn't make plans. And then he says, and then I was like, oh, can we take a rain check? So when I say, can we take a rain check, he says, yeah, no problem. Enjoy the rest of your day. When he said enjoy the rest of your day, I knew I was never going to hear from that man again. Because I remember reading over and I was like, why did he end the conversation like that? Like, why is he mad? Because you're clearly mad if you ended the conversation like that so abruptly. So I'm like, dang, what did I do? So I wait a couple days because now it is Saturday when he told me, have a blessed day. Sunday passes by, nothing. Monday, Tuesday, I'm like, okay. So I remember like it was either that Tuesday or Wednesday. A few days later, I called him and I was like, hey, what's going on? I haven't heard from you, you know, blah, blah, blah. He's like, yeah, I've just been busy. I was okay. All right. I know this line because I've used that line before. I know you're not busy. I know you're not that busy. So once he told me that, I was like, okay, no problem. Just call me up when you have time. He said, yeah, no problem. You know, he told me he's been thinking about me and stuff. And I was like, I can't believe this boy. So literally that was the last time I talked to him. He has not texted me again, called me, nothing, nada, nothing. And I was like, wow, he really ghosted me. And I'm telling you, we went to the dog park together. Like, he met my dog, y'all. He said that he wanted to be Pierre's stepdaddy. And I fell for it. But I don't know why he ghosted me. I couldn't tell you. And I still don't know to this day, because the fact that he made plans to hang out with me and maybe he ghosted me because I said no to him. And if that's the reason, then thank God, because I'm not one to say yes to everything. So if that's the reason why, whatever. But it happened for a reason and I can't be mad at it. Like, originally I was just like, well, what did I do? But I never took it as something that I needed to change about myself in order to get him to pay attention to me, because that would be foolish. That's foolish. And ladies, we do not engage in foolishness, do we? Nope. All right, so now I want to take a look at the responses. So I'm asked for short answer responses. So why did you ghost someone, or why do you think you were ghosted? So I'm going to read through each of them and let's do it. 1, I didn't have the heart to say goodbye, or did it? And that's very common. Having heart, though, implies that you have some type of interaction with this person. Okay, so next, you just don't want to talk to them anymore. Okay, so that's very true, especially on dating apps. If I didn't feel like talking to you anymore, then it's over. Next, not the right person at the right time. Okay, very valid. Okay, this one I shared to my story. He looked nothing like his photos. He was super fluffy. So I'm assuming they went on a date and she was catfished. So I get it, sis. Next, and if you catfish someone and you show up on a date and you look completely different, you deserve to be ghosted. Yes, you do. Next, I have an issue with caring about other people's emotions. I know that sounds bad. So this person just don't care. Okay. Next, they were too clingy. Okay, so that was something they didn't like about this person. They met him, they started talking to him, they were like, yeah, nah, not for me. Okay, I've ghosted someone because of a negative mindset they had. Okay, valid. I've been ghosted from a high school friend that said I changed when I was in college. Okay. I mean, you're supposed to change, though. I always hate when people say you've changed, you're not the same person, when they're referring to a person you were literally 10 years ago. Like, there's a problem if you're still the same person. Foundationally, you should still be the same, but come on. Next, I've ghosted guys because I have a hard time telling guys I'm not interested in them. Okay. I can relate to that as well. It's sort of like when we were talking about ownership over women. Like when men ask for your phone number, sometimes you feel obligated to give them your phone number, especially if you just like, you can be harassed. So that happens. This one, okay, was no longer interested and did not know how to explain it. Okay, very common. I was ghosted because he would not take a I'm not interested. Oh, wait, I ghosted because he wouldn't take I'm not interested in a relationship with you. Okay, so this guy kept going and going, so she ghosted him. I got bored. This was through a dating app, not much invested by either party. My favorite one, homie pulled out his dick in the middle of a Spike Lee film. I really do want to hear this story. I truly want to hear this story. Ghosted because of lack of attention. I was ghosted because he wanted one thing. So sometimes, yeah, guys will pursue you for one thing. Not every person you interact with is going to be meaningful in your life or want to have a meaningful part of your life. So that's normal. So she ghosted someone because she was irritated, she felt disrespected, or she didn't want to hurt their feelings. And someone else ghosted someone. This is a man. So he ghosted someone because on the first date or the first meeting, he didn't refer to it as a date. So the first time meeting, she brought her kid. So I could see that as being weird. Okay, I ghosted because I didn't want to hurt their feelings. I wasn't interested in the other person. He was too annoying and negative. I just didn't feel the same way because it was done to me, or they didn't take no for an answer because he was being creepy. I don't want to talk or text to someone constantly. I just wasn't interested in the person. So this person, another one says they were ghosted because this person was too scared to let them in. How do you know that? I'm curious to know, how do you know that they're too scared to let you in? Because I could say the same thing. This guy ghosted me because he was too scared to let me in. And when I said no to him, that may have, you can always come up with an excuse for someone. So I am curious. Ew. I'm reading this one and I'm going to end it right here after this last one. This person took the cake. Oh my God. Does blocking the guy who told me okay. Does blocking the guy who told me he wants to eat his own cum and come all over me count? Oh. So let me know, was she wrong for ghosting this man? Please let me know. I'm going to read this last one more time. Does blocking the guy who told me he eats his own cum and wanted to come all over me count? So let me know, was she wrong for ghosting him or not? On that note, I'm going to end this podcast. Thank you so much for chilling with me for the past 20 minutes. And make sure you're subscribed to this podcast. Make sure you rate this podcast and follow me at QT with a pod. Tell me your thoughts on ghosting. I think we've shared some really good stories. All right, bye.